everybody, welcome back to Titans Talk, the series dedicated to DC Universe's Titans. Today we're talking about season number 2, episode number 12, titled Faux-Hawk. We are almost at the end of the season, and so things are starting to ramp up in terms of some storylines, other storylines not doing so hot. But there are some interesting things happening in Titans, but this episode, like last week and several other episodes this week and last season, just kind of fell flat for me. And actually one of those main reasons why it fell flat was because the synopsis totally mismatched with what was happening in the episode. Allow me to read you the synopsis. Okay, so there are various versions as to what the actual synopsis is, but here are a couple of them. One of them is that Hank fights his pain, Dick gets ready to transform, and Rose reveals a secret, and then someone picks up the mantle of Hawk while Dick gets some new threads. And basically, they very much put Hawk at the very front of this episode in terms of synopsis, which totally didn't happen. It was actually quite the opposite. He was very much in the background, even though the title suggests it's going to be about him. There's some storylines happening and revolving around him, which were actually really interesting. Those were probably the most interesting part of the episode, with his whole storyline being by himself, going through a bit of a relapse, and actually getting his suit stolen or taken from him, and somebody posing as him. So there's actually a very intricate storyline that could happen there that I would have been happy to watch a whole episode about, but it was only a little bit in the beginning, a little bit in the middle that made no sense because he had a fight with Donna, or not fight with Donna, a fight with Dawn that made no sense because she wasn't there. And then later in the episode, that's when he finds out his suit was gone. So that whole thing is completely scattered throughout the episode and fits nowhere within the narrative itself. But yeah, Hank was hands down the best part of this episode. Everything else is just kind of flat. The other sort of interesting bit was how Dick is starting to try and get his suit, or a new suit, aka the Nightwing suit, which we get to see in a preview in a trailer. So if you haven't seen that, spoiler alert for that. But I mean, I'm already late on this video, so you've probably already seen it. But my good friend Hey Archer, who I'm going to plug again, actually did a breakdown of that, which is really good. Go check that out. But he just kind of does this weird thing where he goes to see this guy who makes the suits, which I'm fine with. And they kind of have like this underground society of like Edna Mode / whatever making suits. But it kind of felt like Kingsman to me, which felt very off kilter with what's happening within the overall style of the show. The fact that Bruce Wayne's Batman gets his suit made by this guy is kind of weird because, you know, you would think that he'd be very on the low, but for some reason everybody seems to know that Bruce is Batman and he has a special suit maker that's not Alfred. It's kind of a weird dynamic, but it kind of gets turned and half revealed about the Nightwing costume, but we don't get the full reveal until next week, which they already showed us in a preview anyway, which just show us the damn suit. But if you have seen the preview, he does get the nightsticks, which is big Nightwing characteristic. So I'm really excited to see how he uses those and how he learns to use them, because he's never used them or hinted at them really throughout the majority of the show. And then there's the whole storyline with Rose, which was just completely unnecessary whatsoever. They kind of did pull off she's going to infiltrate the Titans to try and take them down from the inside. Very Judas Contract storyline. They didn't allude to that in any sense. But, I mean, the writing was on the wall. As soon as Rose showed up and said that she was Deathstroke's daughter, it was there. It was going to happen. It was in plain sight. If it came as a surprise to you, I mean, I don't even know if you're watching the same show. But her storyline, I just could care less about. Deathstroke is okay. I think he's good. One of the best parts of this season. But how they're handling him, he needs to be more involved and be a little bit more aggressive. I don't like that he's not as aggressive in terms of the flashbacks. Like, he's aggressive, but not in the sense that what his goals are just makes no sense. I just don't like the fact that Deathstroke is like, I'm only going to show up if the Titans are there. He has no real motivation outside of the Titans, and I wish he did, because he's essentially a contract killer, so do that. But yeah, I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time talking more about this episode. It was just kind of okay. Again, the Hank stuff was the most compelling. We're going to get Nightwing finally next week in the finale, which I'm really looking forward to that. Mostly just because I want this thing to be over. I mean, they've been teasing Nightwing since the end of last season, or pretty much most of last season. As soon as Dick took the Robin costume off, we've been waiting for that. So hopefully there's going to be a big bang in the finale here, and I'm really looking forward to it. But other than that, that's really all my thoughts on episode number 12. If you guys have seen the episode, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts were. Other than that, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.